Welcome to Christmas with Sasquatch. Yeah, no, it's not even going to be that kind of a shindig. We're doing something totally different.
You look so amazing in that sundress. Wonder what you look like when you're undressed. I can see the future in your eyes. You know I would never tell you lies. I just wanna see you smile, so stick around a while, baby. I see your man blowing up your phone, telling you that you need to come home. If that clown, he ain't about a thing. Look, I don't see no engagement ring. You said that he did you dirty, so what's the harm in flirting, baby? Cause your boyfriend's a bitch, he ain't shit, he can suck on my dick. I ain't with all that shit, why he do you like this when you're home all alone? Why he out fucking around with them hoes? Cause your boyfriend's a bitch, he ain't shit, he can suck on my dick. I ain't with all that shit, why he do you like this when you're home all alone? Why he out fucking around with them hoes? All your friends tell you you need to let go. Seem like he still got your ass in check though. You ain't never cheated on your mans, so why the fuck do he still got your hand? Girl, you could do so much better. He ain't even got no cheddar, baby. He just trying to cuff you like the 5-0. I just wanna see you live your life though. I just wanna see you sing and dance. Don't wanna see you held down by your mans. Tons of men could do you right. Leave that little bitch tonight, baby. Cause your boyfriend's a bitch, he ain't shit, he can suck on my dick. I ain't with all that shit, why he do you like this when you're home all alone? Why he out fucking around with them hoes? Cause your boyfriend's a bitch, he ain't shit, he can suck on my dick. I ain't with all that shit, why he do you like this when you're home all alone? Why he out fucking around with them hoes? If I was your man, I would answer every time that you call. I will listen close to every single word when you talk. Every night we won't fight, we just do what you want. Long as I can hold you tight every night in my arms. I just wanna hold you tight, I just wanna keep you warm. Cause your boyfriend's a bitch, he ain't shit, he can suck on my dick. I ain't with all that shit, why he do you like this? Why you home all alone? Why he out fucking around with them hoes? Boyfriend's a bitch, he ain't shit, he can suck on my dick. I ain't with all that shit, why he do you like this when you're home all alone? Why he out fucking around with them hoes? When you're home all alone, why he out fucking around with them hoes?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the turn of the year. No, that's all wrong. What's up? We got you. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
He's actually here. I wasn't lying. And that's dedicated to all the couples out there. There might be something a little wrong with me. I'm not sure. Snark and sass boopies. Let's roll back through chat right quick. Let's see who we got. Oh, we got Let's Go. It's his actual channel name. I can't really help that. But Miss has joined the chat. Does she qualify for one of them there medals? We got Let's Go with the gold, Swiss
Nope.
Miss silver. She doesn't. She does so.
Nope.
She's not here. You don't qualify. Ben T gets the bronze. The first one that counts. How about them happy horse crappies?
Melvin.
You ever met that chick? Claiborne County Transparency has joined in. It's good to see you, bud. He's everywhere, all over the place, both sides.
Welcome in, Gregory.
We got Dub Wubs on your end. It's good to see you, bud. Was that Frank Perez?
On the way home.
All right. DJ is?
No. Hey,
No.
Lo, there's my hoe.
Oh, ho, ho. Well, somehow it means something totally different when Sasquatch says ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Right. Snark and Sass is in chat. We got Toe for Life actually present. We've got Gregory the Cameraman 1970. Welcome in. Good to see you, bud.
Hey, honey,
Hey.
so good to see you.
NY Outcast is here. Oh, hey, honey. I see now. I am a moron. Hey, I've made it all the way to the bottom. How about that?
Woo-hoo.
Yippee skippy. Okay, so let me shut that crap back down because it's still over there playing. I got Crazy Girlfriend playing in one ear. All right, so what do we know about the Santa Claus murders? The Santa Claus kidnapping, I'm sorry.
I have no
You haven't
idea.
heard of it?
Nope.
Okay, so this one's a little bit edgy, and you asked for this. This one's a little bit edgy, and it does involve children, and it's a less than desirable circumstance, and nobody's really going to enjoy it. But we were looking for a Christmas-themed doohickey, and this happened.
Hi, Janica.
Right? Janica, welcome in, girl. Good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wallace,
Oh, there's
too.
Lolis.
He's got a link, but he ain't showed it yet because he don't love me like the little spoon I am. I don't get it. I even brought a bunny rabbit. Wait, are you Piglet?
No. I
Oh.
mean, I could be.
Oh. Well. Oink, oink, baby. What's up, NH Mountain Girl? Good to see you. Might be something a little more.
Welcome in, NH.
That's not how that works. How does that work again?
What
Oh,
works?
I've got to do the other thing. Let's see. How does that look? Does that make my butt look big?
No.
How about now? All right, we're going to start with the Santa Claus kidnappings, the disturbing case of Amber Daniels. Now,
Farlap, welcome in.
this is one of those that might upset you a little bit. This is done by the Unseen. Yes, Unseen. All the links for all the videos are in the description. Y'all can go check it out anytime between now and Doomsday. Should still be there at some point. Hey, Asylum. It's the Asylum. And we also have Danny's thoughts over here, although I don't know what they're doing in my head.
Welcome in, Danny's thoughts.
I find your lack of happy thoughts disturbing. Okay. All right. I think we're going to roll with this. I'm going to do some of this stuff. Right? Nope. This one. And one of these. Right? Because we're high yield, mediocre, and aggressively average. Everything else is dedicated to Captain Curmudgeon.
Aggressively average.
Right. That says a little bit about me, though, I think. Aggressively average. Yeah, I'm not trying to swing anything major over here. I just want to kind of, putter away at what I'm doing and continue doing it. That's all. I'm not trying to make any waves or surf any waves. Basically.
Pressing. And you may or may not know who's in these pictures. Okay? And that's okay. And what I want you to do, look at them. And if you recognize any of them, you tell me.
What's up, Fat Daddy?
And that only took about 3 seconds. They handed her a stack of photographs and she went, nope, that one. That's the guy right there. Him, that dude with the funny mustache and the funny hat. That's the guy right there. 3 seconds. I think we got a guilty man over here, although it's all. What's up, Dennis Bigfoot? Good to see you. We got Farlap Moves in the chat. I missed anybody. People beat Melvin. What was that? Melvinka or Melvin?
No, it's just Melvin. I think he's from Canada or maybe California. I don't know.
Huh.
I just Melvin.
Yeah. In a world where Lawless News TV showed up.
Dun, dun, dun.
This guy here is the guy that you were with last night. Okay, he's the one that you were underneath the bridge with.
This is 10-year-old Amber Daniels. Hours before this footage was recorded, Amber was found on the side of the road, in the middle of nowhere, with 2 other young girls. When police attempt to locate their parents, they learn that all 3 children are part of the Daniels family, a household known for fostering many kids. But when police arrive at the home, the front door is wide open. What they discover inside is one of the most disturbing home invasions the state of Georgia has ever seen.
Yeah, this ain't terrible far away from me, by the way. It's less than an hour away. So homie's out there and he's still crawling somewhere, and it's terrifying. Deep Johns!
Hey,
What's
Jones?
up? Deep Johns! Deep Johns!
It will launch a statewide manhunt for the mass murderer known as the Santa Claus Killer.
Must have had 100 law enforcement officers and agencies coming in helping us search.
This is the most agents I've seen.
10-year-old Amber Daniels, kidnapped, abused, along with her 2 younger sisters, but she survived, outsmarting her captor. She went on to solve her own case and made sure the man responsible would pay for what he took from her.
Sasquatch approves. Absolute boss tier content right there, bud. I mean, it's hard to deal with, but at the same time, it's good to know that even children have a backbone when the time's right, you know?
So they said when they got to the house, it was just disturbing, but they didn't continue. So, like, was everybody
They're going
good?
to continue.
Okay.
It's the highlight reel. You know how they do it. Welcome to YouTube. Hi, I'm Sasquatch. I'll be your tour guide tonight. We will be looking at monsters, mayhem, and silliness. Amsterdam tried to build a utopia. You realize it became a ghetto? and a common reason people vanish without a trace will also be revealed in this mysterious.
Oh, I see how you are, old guy. All right, I got you.
Old guy Mitch. Yeah, he'd be showing up over here because he loved me because I'm his big spoon. We cuddle together sometimes. Me, him, and Topher life, you know how it is. We stay warm.
Hey, I mean, I can take care of myself. So.
Oh, you strong, feminine woman. What don't need no man?
No.
Oh, okay. Nana 9 Acres, welcome in, girl. Good to see you.
Need and want now, are 2 different things.
Yeah, wouldn't mind having 4.
No. No.
It's 5 p.m. on December 4th, 1997. A farmer in Bacon County, Georgia, is working on his property when he spots 3 young girls walking along.
Okay, I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but do you not suddenly want bacon from Bacon County, Georgia? I feel like it might be the most baconest thing ever.
Why the fuck no?
From Bacon from Bacon County? Are you joking? He was the closest. Yes, you ran his fingers through my hair. That's right.
On the side of the road, he goes over to them, asking if they are okay, when he notices they're barefoot with only pajamas on. One of the kids say they are from Santa Claus, Georgia, a small town 50 miles.
Santa Claus, Georgia is a place. I've been there. I delivered windows there. But I want to say, what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Welcome in, Rob.
Hi.
Shadow. Rob.
Welcome to the
Shadow.
show. Good to see you, buddy.
Jason Gaudet.
Gaudet. Gay dude. I don't know how to say his name right.
No, it's not gay dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, we get cuddly too. It's okay.
It's north. The man, realizing the children are far from home, quickly calls 911 and alerts them of the kids found alone near his property. The Bacon County police arrive at the scene and take them back to the station, asking where they live and what happened. The 10-year-old, Amber, says they're sisters and part of the Daniels family and gives them her home address. Deputy Sheriff Mike Harlan is sent to the children's house to get any information he can.
I expected anxious parents, or at least a mother, or somebody meeting me at the door.
But when he arrives, everything is hauntingly quiet as Deputy Harlan makes his way towards the home.
Now, for those of us who have watched true crime, we all know this is what they call a red flag. When you show up to a house that's supposed to be full of people and there's not hiding a hair of them, and you already found 3 of their youngins, this is not good.
I don't
We
call anybody New York outcast. I'm just saying. I
We
fix
call
it
that
myself.
a
Smoking
clue. A
auditor,
clue.
what's up? What? Huh?
Smoking auditor. We call that a clue, God damn it.
Oh.
Keep up with the freaking show. We're already 15 minutes in. What
I'm
are you
in
gonna
the
do?
chat. I'm so sorry.
Stop apologizing.
Okay.
Stand up straight. Put your hood
I
back
am
on.
sitting up straight.
Stop
What?
slouching.
Home, he notices the front
Hi.
door is open. The officer loudly announces his presence, asking if anyone is home. No response. Upon entering, the sound of an alarm clock radio, a home security system beeping, and a baby crying immediately become louder. As Harlan walks further into the home, he sees something moving underneath the table. It's a little boy. Silent and in a state of shock, the boy quietly signals the police officer.
He really didn't say much of anything. He kind of pointed toward the bedroom. There appeared to be blood on the frame of the bedroom door.
Harlan very gently pushes the
A clue. A clue.
A clue. Blues, clues, blues, clues.
Let me see. Lemmy the pacifist. What's up,
Lemmy.
bud?
You know, yeah.
Angel NFL
What's
2.0.
up, Angel? Much love. Merry Christmas. Happy
The
holidays.
smoking auditor. Yeah. Okay. We got everybody.
the door open. When he enters the room, he discovers the body of a young woman, motionless on the floor. The police officer takes another step inside and notices 2 shapes on the bed. It doesn't take long for him to realize that 2 more bodies, an adult man and an adult woman, are lying underneath the sheets, not breathing. Next to them, he sees a baby crying. The deputy
Brandon
checks the rest
Mitchell.
of the house,
Welcome in.
discovering another horrifying scene in one of the kids' rooms. A little boy lays motionless in his bed, blood around him, dead.
Not knowing there was a shooter on site, I grabbed the baby up, grabbed the other little boy up in my arms, and we went back out the door.
Back in the police station in Bacon County, investigators ask the 3 little girls what happened to them. Amber, who is the oldest, starts to tell her story and reveals a name that will change everything. She tells them that she was taken from her bedroom earlier that night by a man named Scott. The year is 1995. Amber is 8 years old and lives with her biological mother, Kim, who is a recovered alcoholic. Growing up, Amber and her siblings were routinely placed in foster homes as her mother was unable to take care of them. But throughout the years, Kim was determined to better her life and become sober to provide a loving, supportive home for her 3 children. While attending Alcoholics Anonymous, she meets another
What's
recovering alcoholic, Danny Daniels, and they fall in love and start a new sober life.
They had quit drinking. They had changed everything about their lives. The day that Child Services let me return back home to my mother was probably one of the best days of my life. I ran to her arms, and there was a man just standing there, open arms, and welcomed me into his house and wanted to love me just as much as my mom.
Danny and Kim got married, bringing together his teenage daughter, Jessica, and her 3 kids, Brooke, Bryant, and Amber, all under one roof. Kim's
Hello,
aspiration
Tiffany
of providing a
Zapinski. Welcome to the
secure,
chat.
loving, and supportive home for her children was becoming a reality. Just a few years before, it was her who needed assistance for her children. Now that Kim was sober with a stable home, she was eager to give back and open her doors to foster children, creating a nurturing environment of her own.
Merry
Amber
Christmas,
remembers
Mr.
from a young
Scabs.
age how her family started to
Welcome,
welcome
George.
foster children.
It was so exciting to have kids to play with.
One of the first foster children the Daniels welcomed was a young girl named Joanne.
I just knew that she was going to be my best friend. She was the same age as I was. She was so nice, and
Happy
I
holidays,
just loved her
Tiffany.
red hair.
Joanne
Hey, Lawless, I can only assume that you haven't recently checked your email, because if you had, you would be right here. Or you would be busy. Either way, it's good to have you.
Says your goat.
Joanne's final
Do what? Where?
Says your
Where?
goat. Hello, hello.
Welcome in, bud. Where's his name? I want to highlight it. I'm gonna put it on the TV like this, like boom. That's the way I do it.
No.
Biological mother would be allowed to come over for visits, often accompanied by her son, Jerry Scott Heidler. Jerry, or as the kids referred to him as simply, Scott, was 18 years old and was very friendly with all the kids, playing games with them, jumping on the trampoline, and even teaching the children how to fish.
I can remember him giving
Okay,
me
where did he
piggyback
come from? I
rides,
missed it.
putting me on his shoulder.
Biological mother would be allowed to come over for visits, often accompanied by her son, Jerry Scott Heidler. Jerry, or as the kids referred to him as simply, Scott, was 18 years old and was very friendly with all the kids, playing games with them, jumping on the trampoline, and even teaching the children how to fish.
I can remember him giving me piggyback rides and putting me on his shoulders. Jerry was so much fun. He would always play with us, and he seemed to be very loving and kind. He seemed like any other normal person that came in and out of our house.
But one day, Jerry stops coming over. 2 years go by, and his sister Joanne has gone back into her mom's care, leaving the Daniels behind, and neither Amber nor her family have heard from Jerry since then. It's now 1997. The Daniels have a full house, with 3 foster children added to their original 4. As the holidays approach, they look forward to a festive time together, as the family has already put up their Christmas tree. It's December 4th, only a few weeks before Christmas. Amber is sleeping peacefully like any other night, when suddenly, she's woken up. Even though she hasn't seen him in years, the little girl recognizes Jerry.
And he's yelling at me to wake up, you've got to wake up.
Amber is in shock. In the distance, she can hear her siblings crying from the other room. Jerry tells her they must leave the house immediately.
I was frightened and scared, and hearing the girls crying, I didn't know what was going on.
Jerry grabs a hold of Amber's arm and rushes her down the hallway. The little girl is very confused and asks him where her parents are. He tells her that her mom and dad are not in the house and that they've already left with the other children, and they've told him to get her and her 2 other young sisters, Amanda and Brooke. But just before they leave by the front door, Amber turns around and sees her 4-year-old brother, Corey, hiding underneath the kitchen table. In the distance, she hears her baby brother Gabe crying.
Why are we leaving them? Why are we leaving them? He said, your mom and dad's going to come back and get them. Jerry was always good to us, so it felt okay to leave with him.
They all get inside his van.
Thank you, hey,
He
honey.
tells them he's taking them to their parents.
Hey, honey. Do what?
Huh? What?
What? What? Where?
So what did you say?
What? I can't hear you. I have a slut ear infection. I can't finger it
Come
out.
a little closer, finger it out.
Right? Recording and posting in portrait mode? Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so.
No.
Everything's normal. I mean, I'm using a slightly different format, but I don't think that should make a difference. Should it?
Kid in the van, red flag.
I don't know. Man.
Leaving the little boys behind, red flag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were children.
No, I get it. But I'm saying even before get in the van, just the little boys being left behind, red flag.
Yeah, no, get in the van is a big old red flag. That's not a.
So go over where we are or where we started up to where we are for those that are just coming in.
All right, so we're recapping. Is that what you want to recap?
Yes, a recap. My
Okay. So basically, what we've got is the mother couldn't have the kids, and so the kids were with foster folks. The mother had a nephew, friend's son, something like that was hanging around with her and would come over and help her teach the kids to fish and do other kid stuff and whatnot. And then apparently one night, this guy, Scott, allegedly shows up on Christmas Eve, stabs everybody in the master bedroom, and then kidnaps the 3 little girls and runs off with them. So
it's the disturbing case of Amber Daniels, otherwise known as Santa Claus kidnapping, right?
Right.
And what is it? 95?
98, I think.
Okay. Very
97. December 4th, 97.
Okay.
My bad. Not Christmas Eve. Close enough to Christmas that you can beat it with a wet noodle. All right. We good? You good?
Yep, good.
I'm good.
Yes, good.
I'm just checking.
parents. But as he continues to drive down the deserted road, the girls become increasingly worried and begin to cry, not knowing where they are going or where their parents are. After driving for more than half an hour, the car slows down and turns onto a side street and then parks underneath a bridge. Jerry then proceeds to turn off the engine and tells Amber to get in the back with him as he makes Amanda and Brooke move to the front.
And so now I'm getting a little more scared at this point because now I'm confused. What's going on?
The man proceeds to remove his clothing. Amber notices a knife in his boot and a gun on the floor of the vehicle. He then forces himself on 10-year-old Amber.
And so
Please
I
stop.
was crying, and he told me if I didn't stop crying, that he would do it to the other two. So I stopped crying because I didn't want him to hurt them.
When Jerry finally stops, he orders Amber to put her clothes back on. The little girl obeys, while her attacker gets out of the car and back behind the wheel. Without any words, Jerry starts to drive again. The three sisters stay silent as well. Terrified and in a state of shock, Amber wonders where Jerry is leading them. Suddenly, the car comes to a stop. It's the middle of the night, but Amber realizes they are on top of a bridge. Jerry takes the gun and forces Amber, Brooke, and Amanda. He keeps threatening them with the gun while he walks closer and closer to the edge of the bridge. Below, there's a fast-moving stream of water. The three scared kids stay close together and have no idea what will happen next. But unexpectedly, Jerry throws the gun over the bridge and into the water.
And my mind just said, this is your opportunity. You're out of that van. Run. We can hide in the woods. Just run as fast as you can.
The three barefoot children start to run away from the van. Behind them, Jerry screams for them to stop and come back. Amber hears him chasing after them, and she increases her pace. Her attacker is bigger than her and her two sisters, but Amber still hopes they can outrun him. But Jerry is coming closer and closer behind Brooke and violently grabs her arm, stopping her right in her tracks.
And he told me if I didn't get back in the van, he was going to throw her over the bridge, and I'd never see her again.
Amber is forced to make an impossible choice, save herself and sacrifice the life of her younger sister, or risk what will happen to her if she goes back in the van. Amber knows the only way to protect her younger sister and ensure she's safe is to follow Jerry's demands. Her and her sister, Amanda, begin to slowly walk back to Jerry and Brooke. Once they are together, Jerry orders them back in his van as he begins to drive them further away from their home.
So, how many red flags have we passed so far?
I don't know, 5?
Fact that kid on the van would. Fact that he hung around with a bunch of kids.
Oh, well, yeah. 2.
Fact apparently he hung around with a bunch of kids and an older lady for some strange reason.
But that was his mom.
I thought it was his aunt. I thought it was her sister's kid.
Oh, okay. Maybe so.
I think so. But yeah, no, none of this is good. Nothing good's going to come from any of this. This is wood chipper territory, folks. Agreed? Allegedly.
He turned down this road, and so I asked him again, where are you taking us? What are we doing? He got agitated and started yelling, and then he pulled up in a little dead-end spot and put us out and told us that we were to wait there for 5 minutes until he came back. He kept saying, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. You better be here.
They all stand silently, watching Jerry's car drive away. They dare not move until they no longer see the lights of his vehicle. After counting for 65 seconds, Amber
Jerry
tells
was her son.
I told the girls that we've got to find him.
Oh, shucks, Ma. I can't pay attention to all
So
the-
Jerry was this girl's brother, half brother. They have the same mom.
Okay.
It was
I'm
her
gonna say
mom's
that
son.
because I was reading chat when that part happened.
Oh,
It happens sometimes, folks. Psychopathy, dark triad, nut job. Yeah, you're not wrong, bud. Wood chippers. Yes, this is the answer to this solution to this question.
Help. We've got to tell them what's happened. We've got to find our parents. We've got to get back home.
As they run along the road, they see a secluded farmhouse in the distance, but all of a sudden, car headlights beam right in front of their path.
So I made the two girls jump down in the ditch to try to keep from being seen. And the car slowed down, and I knew that we had just been caught. Our lives were over.
Amber is petrified. A man emerges from the car, but it's not her attacker. Instead, a local farmer steps out and immediately offers her assistance. Amber breathes a sigh of relief, urging her sisters to come out from their hiding spots. They are ushered to safety. The man contacts the police, and the local sheriff arrives and takes the 3 girls to the police station.
Everybody in our family members that I hadn't seen in years, they were there. And I said, well, where's Mom and Daddy? And Corey walked up to me and said, they're dead. And I said, stop lying. I said, that's not true.
But Amber looks around the room, seeing the adults and her distant family members all quiet. She knows what her little brother is saying is true. Her mother is no longer alive. After everything she went through in the night, Amber is in a state of shock, and now learning her mother and stepfather are gone, she begins to cry. But Amber knows who did this, and she wants to make sure he is captured and brought to justice. She tells officials the crucial piece of information, the name of the man responsible, Jerry Scott Heidler. He is the brother of one of the foster children and would come by to the Daniels family often, playing with the children and expressing unwanted romantic interest to the teenage daughter, Jessica. Police search for any information they have on Jerry and find he is already in the police records. Due to his prior arrest on a DUI charge, they have his mugshot in their file. Investigators then present Amber with a series of photographs, seeking confirmation of the man responsible for her abduction.
I got about 6 photographs here. And you may or may not know who's in these pictures, okay? And that's okay. And what I want you to do, look at it.
All right, Smoking Auditor, I need you to go out back, go ahead and form up that wood chipper. We'll be with you in just a minute.
And if you recognize any of them, you tell me.
They just showed me a picture. Is this the guy? And I said, yes, this is Scott Heidler.
In order to build the case against Jerry and find out exactly what happened that night, Amber is asked to walk through the events of the night and bravely recount exactly what Jerry did to her and where he went.
And I had to show him where the dirt road was that he had taken us. And I remember telling him everything that he said and everything that he did.
With the information Amber provided, police go back to the Daniels household and meticulously gather evidence from the crime scene, collecting fingerprints, a cigarette butt, and DNA samples. Investigators believe that earlier that night, at around 1 a.m., before Jerry abducted Amber and her 2 younger sisters, he infiltrated the Daniels family home through a back window. He then went to the oldest daughter's room, 16-year-old Jessica, and attempted to make advances on her. Detectives believe she must have resisted, running to the safety of her parents' bedroom, but then Jerry, having been to the house multiple times before, navigated to the cabinet where the family stored their shotgun.
You see, it wouldn't even be out of place. If we just installed one behind every prison, it would just be another blip on the accident radar. You could even have insurance against it. Right? I mean, come on, it's not like it's actually hurting anybody.
Gun. Seizing the firearm, Jerry proceeded to enter the parents' bedroom, murdering 16-year-old Jessica, the 2 adults, Kim and Danny, and 8-year-old Brian, before running out of ammunition. He then entered Amber's bedroom and took her and the sisters. With all of Amber's details and their physical evidence from the crime scenes, they have enough information.
All I'm saying.
So the only reason those 2 little baby boys are alive is because he ran out of ammunition.
He hid. They hid. They didn't interfere.
And he ran out of ammunition.
But people ain't exactly as easy to kill as you might think. You start popping caps and splitting wigs, and you don't properly split the wigs, they don't stop moving.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, moving targets are hard to hit.
Yeah, that too. Oops, I accidentally shot him 7 times in the back and once to the back of the head. My bad. These damn cheap Chinese pistols, you know?
Information to make the arrest, but Jerry is still evading capture, nowhere to be found. Police use all available resources to track him down.
I have never seen so much officer presence.
Investigators suspect he might be hiding in his mother's home in Alma, Georgia, only an hour from the crime scene. Several police officers are en route to Jerry's mother's address. However, upon their arrival, there is no sign of him anywhere. Their search extends around the outside of the house until they finally discover him hiding under.
All right, we're going to run it this way, bro. This is going to be just one little second. Oops, wrong button. All right, say something, bro.
In a world.
Close enough for government work.
In a world.
In a world where lawless shut up. Something wrong with
Ooh, I'm next to my
There we go. Here we
Good?
go. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I got you, baby. I got you. What you up to? What you been doing? Had a little live stream a little while ago. I saw that.
I appreciate you for coming in there. Thank you so much.
Chilling.
There you go. Thank you. I didn't see you there, unfortunately, but thank you.
You're good.
Ajot's been busy, huh? You've been busy, Ajot?
She always busy.
Yeah.
That
I'm
girl's
just-
crafty.
What? No, I just had a friend, Jose, come and, say hello.
Got you.
Jose
Okay.
Cuervo.
Oh, that makes sense now.
I like to drink you with some
Which is making me hot. Okay, come on, let's go. Keep going.
Underneath the floorboards in a small crawl space, Jerry Scott Heidler is charged and arrested with 4 counts of murder, 3 counts of kidnapping, and burglary.
He didn't resist. He confessed to it, admitted to it, and he said it was like a dream to him.
As Jerry is in prison awaiting trial, Amber is processing the tragedy that happened to her family. She has lost her mother, father, older sister, and younger brother right before Christmas.
Christmas was a big part of our family every year. That was our thing.
But this year,
Christmas would
when
be
the
fucking ruined for the rest
finally
of the world.
comes, there is no celebration.
Right?
I mean, there's no coming back from that. Like, no, man.
I don't see it. What do you think? You think Christmas is fucked up the rest of existence?
Well, how could it not? Unless she threw him in a wood chipper.
What's up, John? Good to see you, bud. Welcome in. Good evening, John Blanchard. What we got going on in the poll? We're not there yet. We're gonna let it run a little longer.
Celebration, no cheer, only grief.
That's when the realization hit. They weren't coming back.
August 30th, 1999, the trial for Jerry Scott Heidler begins. Amber is now 13 years old, and her interview is played during the trial and used as evidence against him. The whole community is emotional, devastated by the traumatic incident that went through their small town. It only takes the jury 20 minutes to come back with the verdict.
We, the jury, fix the sentence at death.
On December 2nd, 1999, Jerry Scott Heidler is convicted of 4 counts of malice murder, kidnapping, aggravated child molestation, and burglary. He is sentenced to death and currently remains on death row.
That's the only time that I witnessed Jerry Heidler showing any remorse. He dropped
Like,
his head.
currently, to this day, currently?
Get out and couldn't hurt anybody else. I was perfectly
So
fine.
24 fucking years he's sitting there?
After the tragedy. Today, Amber is not letting her past define her, determined to live her life to the fullest. Amber's mother overcame personal struggles to ensure her children would grow up feeling loved. Now, Amber has started a family of her own. She pours love and attention into her child, making it her mission to recreate the nurturing and beautiful home life her own mother worked hard to build.
Knowing that I get to see him grow up. I miss that with my mom.
Hello, generally specific.
He is my future.
All right, we have our participation trophy of the night. Generally specific wins the participation trophy. Because I like that. That tickles my pickle. We enjoy
I'm
that.
sorry for your loss, Lemmy.
That's terrible, bud. Sorry. We got about 3 minutes left over here. Not quite 10 minutes. A little longer than I thought it was.
Is the future for me. I pray that he never has to go through anything that I ever went through as a child. I pray that he has the good days that I had. I would do anything for him.
Amber realized that what happened to her as a child was not her fault, letting go of the anger from her past, knowing it doesn't create love for her family in the present.
I'm at a point in my life that if I could go tell him that I forgive him for what he did, I would. I can't change the past, but I can make my future better for myself, for my family. If I'm going to hate him for the rest of my life, what's the point? I will always be the better person.
Somehow, I don't think that's a really high bar to set, right? Because we'll let everybody digest on that for a minute. Kind of, that was almost a Monster by Design episode, but I didn't think it quite fit.
Mm, mm, mm. I mean, amen to her, right? I mean, I love what she says. I say it often. Don't let the past define us, you know?
That is true. But at the same time, we are still somewhat defined by our own experiences.
Oh,
we
for
interact with the world through the lens of our own experiences. And
Mhm.
so it would ruin Christmas for the rest of my eternity.
See, I was going to say that too, right? I came in, Tiffany, and I'm like, yeah, it's Christmas special with Sasquatch. And then he shows that shit right away. I'm like, oh, I need another shot or something.
You go ahead. I'll even give you the big screen. We can sing the shot song that we make up while we're doing it.
No.
No, we're not playing that. Okay. Well, okay. Does anybody have a donation link? Because I bet we can get her to drink. I don't even have a donation link to speak of. I'm unprepared. I didn't know we were drinking her. I'd have got me some rum. We'd have a donation link. It'd be $2 a shot. We'd just get blasted in about 45 minutes. It'd be hopeless.
Just say it.
Say what? Shots.
No. Here's to you. Here's to me.
And may we never disagree.
What?
And may we never disagree.
And may we never disagree.
But if we do. To hell with you.
To hell with you.
Here's to me.
Here's to me.
Oh, wow.
Shoot that shit.
What is that? Is that a...
Oh. Giggity.
I need to turn on
It's getting hot in here.
Yes.
So take off your rabbit clothes.
No.
There you go. She is taking her rabbit clothes off.
Joe, Pat, what's up, bud?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Right. All right. So the next bit we have. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works either. One of them.
Thank you.
Wait, do you want to be on top?
I want to be in the middle.
That's what she said.
Now I'm Sam squashed.
So
here's T-Bird.
T-Bird and friends. Something like
I need a minute.
The missing enigma. All right. So this specifically goes to those people who vanish completely without a trace, right? So like you hear about them on a Tuesday, they're at the Walmart and they get them a fishing pole and then they go fishing and you never see them again. There's a few ways this can happen that don't involve nefarious activity. I mean, you could slip and fall in a hole. You could slip and fall in a well. You could slip and fall in a river, and you wouldn't necessarily surface on any of this. Hey, motherfucker screaming in my yard.
Hey there, everyone. In this video, I want to discuss the concept of vanishing without a trace, which is often treated as a sort of phenomenon unto itself. I get a lot of emails from folks asking me to explain how this person or that person could have vanished without a trace, or under unusual circumstances. Sometimes they might believe that there is a paranormal element to the case because it has no obvious explanation. And in most cases, I can't explain it either. But that doesn't necessarily mean that these cases where people vanish are paranormal in any way. There have been plenty of cases where people vanish without a trace and then they are later found. And that might also come along with some explanation as to what happened to them. So in some cases, vanished without a trace just means we haven't found them yet. Don't get me wrong, I understand why there are many cases out there that can seem strange
let's
or
go,
possibly even paranormal. I find the best way to try and understand these types of cases is to look at some cases where people almost vanish without a trace. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm talking about missing persons cases where the individual disappears. You look at the facts and it seems like a strange and unexplainable disappearance. But then at some point they are found. And the explanation for their disappearance shows that we perhaps just weren't thinking outside the box. I pulled together 3 cases that I think exemplify what I'm talking about. After learning about them, I think you'll probably see what I mean. I strongly recommend you stick around for all 3, as I think the final case is particularly interesting.
All right. So we're going to go through 3 different cases of people who completely vanished in an area that was repeatedly searched and fit all of the criteria for a missing 411. But at some point in time later, an explanation was found, and it was in every case perfectly rational. Strange, but rational.
"62-year-old Greg Monroe drove from his home in Victorville, California, and into the New York mountains within the Mojave National Preserve on October 18, 2013. His plan was to begin deer hunting early the next day and be home by Halloween on October 31st. When Greg didn't make it back by this time, he was reported missing to the San Bernardino Sheriff's Office. On November 3rd, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Office advised National Park staff of the search and rescue near the New York mountains, and to be on the lookout for Greg's red 1995 Toyota pickup truck with a camper shell, which was last seen near Pinto Mountain. Greg's truck was found the next day on November 4th, exactly where they expected it would be, near Pinto Mountain. His truck and campsite was found as if it had just been set up, with most of his food still there, suggesting that whatever happened to Greg, it happened early in the trip. His truck was locked and the campsite seemed undisturbed. The search for Greg consisted of up to 70 people, including helicopter crews. Both the sheriff and the NPS participated in the search and scoured the region. The sheriff's spokeswoman described the location like this:
Oklahoma.
"The area is mainly flat, rocky desert with some large mountain peaks."
Welcome in, Oklahoma.
We got Mr. and Mrs. Knack. Knack, patty
North
whack.
Alabama.
So much.
Scotty
so
Waddles.
Scotty Waddles, these people would be missing 411, except we found out what happened to them, and it's not as weird as you would think.
Grades. The search for Greg Monroe could very easily have ended without success, and today we would say that he vanished without a trace, that his disappearance is mysterious and unexplained. And without knowing what actually happened to Greg, I suppose all of those things would be true. I would encourage you to think about this scenario. Greg Monroe, he arrives in the desert, sets up camp, and almost immediately disappears. The area is open, mostly flat, with some rocks and brush. What do you think could have happened to make him disappear in an area like this? I suppose you could say that he walked outside the search area and got lost, and died somewhere far away. But I'm sure if Greg was never found, some people would look at this situation and see it as something paranormal. A man who disappeared in the desert where there was nowhere for him to go. Fortunately, we do know what happened to Greg Monroe, and most people would probably never guess what the answer is. On November 7th, a searcher from Orange County was scouring the brushland about half a mile from Greg's campsite when they had a very close call. In front of the searcher, and completely covered by the heavy brush, was a 30-inch by 30-inch hole in the ground. The hole turned out to be a very old well shaft that was forgotten and overgrown by the surrounding brushland. It was later determined that the well was 40 feet deep and half full of water, but at the bottom was the body of Greg Monroe.
My man never had a chance. Imagine it. You pull up, you pull all your gear out, you drop it, you grab your water bottle, you drop your phone off, you empty your pockets because you're just going right over there, and you walk 85 yards and you're gone. Later, you're laying in the well when they come looking for you, and you hear them. You scream, you yell, and no one ever comes.
It appears that Greg was scouting the terrain around his campsite shortly after his arrival in the area. As he wandered around, he fell right into the well shaft that was near impossible to see. Once Greg was in the well, there was no way he could have gotten out. Reports do not mention the official cause of death for Greg, only that his body was found in the well. Truly a sad and tragic accident to happen to anyone, but Greg's story illustrates a point that sometimes the explanation for an unusual disappearance is something that you may not have considered before. Most people who walk around in places like the Mojave National Preserve probably don't think that the next step they take might send them tumbling down a 40-foot well shaft. And looking at the pictures of this shaft, you can see that if searchers had not discovered and cleared the brush from this well, Greg Monroe may never have been found. His name could have been added to the list of disappearances that have no obvious explanation, and would probably be added to the list of missing 411 cases.
Oops.
Cases such as this are useful to get people thinking outside the box when it comes to explanations for so-called unexplainable missing persons cases. Let's check out the next case.
All right. So, how many times have you heard the story about the folks that went out berry picking over by the cliffs and little Timmy disappeared and they never saw him again? Right? Like just full on missing persons, full search. They search up the mountain, down the mountain, left the mountain, right the mountain. They search every car entering and exiting the place, and nobody ever sees them. This is one of those situations.
23-year-old Tatum Morell traveled from her home in Idaho to Montana's Beartooth Mountains. Tatum was an engineering graduate student from Montana State University and also an avid and experienced hiker who was planning to climb 5 mountain peaks in the West Fork of Rock Creek.
So, to the point, this woman is not an amateur. She may be an amateur, but she's a very skilled amateur. She showed up with the intention of hitting 5 peaks in a couple of days.
This was Tatum's first trip to the Beartooth Mountains. It was not her first experience with this type of terrain. She backpacked into the area and camped at Shadow Lake on Thursday, July 1st, 2021. That same evening, around 8 p.m., she contacted her family via an inReach satellite communicator device to let them know she was okay. This would also be the last time anyone heard from Tatum Morell. Sometime on July 2nd, Tatum left her campsite and did not return. The search for Tatum began on July 5th and involved multiple search and rescue and law enforcement agencies, dog teams, helicopters, ground searchers, and others. The terrain of the area was very rugged, rocky, and generally difficult to navigate.
What's up,
Tatum's
Daily
orange
Dan?
and gray
Good to
tent
see
was
you, bud.
found still set up in the Shadow Lake area. Knowing that Tatum was planning to hike up a number of different peaks, searchers focused their efforts on a number of different areas and routes, including Sundance, Bowback, Castle, and Whitetail Mountains. At night, helicopters used infrared cameras to try and spot her.
All right, hold on a second. Whitetail, Sundance.
Is this something that's like surprising?
Where? When? Why?
Where? When? Why? So you were talking about like I think am I correct on stating that you don't believe that someone could just disappear, like on
I've spent a lot of time out in the wilderness, and in virtually every case when someone just quote unquote disappears, there's a perfectly rational reason why nothing was found. Usually there's people involved.
I mean, yes, but gosh, it's still expansive, and I mean, we could get lost in the wilderness just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. But even then, typically, there is, I can't remember the term, but it has to do with how animals break apart your body and spread your jacket, your pockets, your shoes, stuff like that.
Correct.
Eventually, we usually find
some kind of essence. Okay.
Somewhere. It might not be your body. It might just be a few digits
hip
of
bone. I get you.
Something like that. We prove that your body was dissociated from a part of the body at some point. and that's usually answer enough as to the ultimate result of such
and that given time, once you find a body part, we can usually run diagnosis on it to see which person that belongs to.
Right. Okay. Usually you find pieces of jacket, ID cards, stuff like that. And that in conjunction with a couple of body parts that are the right blood type would be strong evidence that such and such and blah, blah, blah. You can't say definitively. But notice here.
Oh, look at that cute little face right there.
It's a Babis.
Oh, wow. Oh, adorable. Hi, cutie. In a world where you're such adorable little baby. Hey, baby.
That's going to be one of those kids that gets free cookies.
Yeah.
Free cookies in a world where babies get free cookies. Anyway, so she's camping down here, and her first day, she's either going to Sundance Mountain or Bowback Mountain. It never specifies. They find her, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere along this ridge here. Apparently going up to Sundance Mountain would be the guess. But where they find her is actually kind of surprising.
Despite the use of significant resources and manpower, searchers were unable to find any trace of Tatum Morell in the area.
Wow.
Now, quite a few people may remember this case because it was well publicized at the time. I remember this case because as it was happening, as there were searchers still on the ground, I was receiving emails from people asking me to cover this case for numerous reasons. Among them was that it was a missing 411 case.
Go ahead and give them both there.
Stop. No. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt the stream. It's just I'm looking at the chat and freaking Westside's all she's trying to find lawless. Jill, I was over there in a world with that. You are everywhere. No.
I'm not going to hide it. Who am I to keep the people from what they want?
Oh my gosh. Oh, she found me.
Sasquatch, that's all.
She found me.
Case currently happening right before our eyes. That her disappearance was clearly paranormal and that Bigfoot may have been somehow involved.
Wasn't me.
It really has been the only time I was inundated with so many emails regarding a current case. Now, as a rule, I generally try to stay away from cases that are so fresh there are still searchers on the ground. There is simply too much uncertainty at that point. We don't have enough information. Search and rescue hasn't finished doing their job. The sheriff may or may not be investigating. In Tatum Morell's case, the search turned up nothing. But almost 2 months later, in late August, a group of hikers were in the area of Whitetail Peak when they came across some hiking gear. Shortly thereafter, they discovered a boot sticking out from the rocky mountainside. Now, they were aware that there had recently been a search and rescue in the area, so they used a satellite device to contact authorities immediately. They had discovered the body of Tatum Morell. She was located in an area that had been searched many times before, but the problem was that she was almost entirely buried by rocks. It appears that Tatum had been attempting to climb Whitetail Peak sometime on July 2nd, when a rock slide occurred, burying her and also taking her life. Because she was covered up in the rock slide, searchers were unable to see her as they scoured the area.
So this is a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Never climb higher than your guardian angel can fly. Did I take the wrong thing away from that? My bad.
Tatum's remains were then airlifted out of the area, and her case was subsequently closed. Like all cases of this nature, it is an absolute tragedy, but also something to learn from. This was a situation where search and rescue probably walked very close to Tatum's actual location. This was also a situation where search dogs were unable to track her scent. Searchers of both the human and canine variety are fallible, and there is likely nothing more they could have done in this situation. But if Tatum Morell had never been found, I am certain some people would be saying that the failure of these searchers to turn up...
Hey, don't you cut us no slack. I love my women just like I love my coffee, hot, sweet, and creamy.
Any shred of evidence or the failure of these canines to track any scent must be because something paranormal occurred, when in fact it was all due to a tragic rock slide. Now, shifting gears real quick, I want to briefly mention a completely different case. A few months ago, I had a couple of emails regarding the disappearance of actor Julian Sands in Mount Baldy, California. This disappearance was well publicized, likely due to Mr. Sands' status as an actor, but still, to this day, Julian Sands has not been found. It should be noted that evidence of avalanches were seen in the area of Mount Baldy, and the entire search area was temporarily closed due to the threat of avalanches. Why do I bring this case up? Because avalanches and rock slides are real threats that hikers and climbers face. When someone disappears without a trace on a mountainside, like Mr. Sands did, the most likely explanation is probably that he was buried by an avalanche. Can we be certain of this? No, we won't know for certain unless he is found one day. But cases like that of Tatum Morell show us how these events can completely stifle search effort.
There's a number I would like to figure out. I would like to know how many people in the world are killed by fish falling over waterfalls. Not rocks, not limbs, just fish, actual fucking catfish, brim, whatever.
Were killed by fish?
Killed by fish falling off waterfalls. There has to be at least one person who has been killed by fish falling off a waterfall.
What? How?
By people standing under the waterfall and the fish going over it.
But how would it kill them? Caucasian?
By hitting them in the head like a projectile.
But it's a fish.
Yeah.
Is that also what occurred in the case of Julian Sands? It's certainly a possibility, and at this time it seems like the most likely one as well. Now let's take a look at one more case. "39-year-old Raymond Jones lived in Salmon, Idaho, where he owned a service station and dairy products distributorship. Raymond was known as an avid hunter and outdoorsman, someone who could take care of himself if he was ever lost. On September 7th, 1968, Raymond, along with two other hunter friends, Ralph Pearson and Dale Baird, was out bow hunting in the Hayden Creek area, some 30 miles southeast of Salmon. The group were in the area looking for deer, elk, and bighorn sheep. At about 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, the group split up and Raymond was last seen hiking up the ridge that separates the east fork of Hayden Creek with the Tobias drainage. Raymond was last seen wearing camouflage clothing, brown boots, and a brown hat. He also carried a camouflage bow and his face was painted to act as camouflage.
Okay, so this is where this one starts getting weird. My man's bow hunting. He's a relatively renowned outdoorsman. He's known for doing this kind of thing and not really having problems. So something has to go wrong for this to end badly. And it gets weird.
Raymond's hunting companions would report him missing early on September 8th. The Lemhi County Sheriff, Bill Baker, would arrive in the area by the late afternoon. The official search began shortly thereafter and involved nearly 100 volunteers. He also carried a camouflage bow and his face was painted to act as camouflage. Raymond's hunting companions would report him missing early on September 8th. The Lemhi County Sheriff, Bill Baker, would arrive in the area by the late afternoon. The official search began shortly thereafter and involved nearly 100 volunteers and searchers, dog teams, and airplanes. During the search, nothing of value was found. One day, searchers discovered a trail of blood drops and also heard a gunshot, but their origin was never determined. The search was also plagued by bad weather and conditions, with at least one heavy rainstorm hitting the area. The Lemhi County Sheriff's Office terminated their involvement in the search by September 12th, after the search had turned up absolutely no clues. Sheriff Baker would tell newspapers that he believed Raymond was dead, and was quoted saying, "I don't think there's a piece of ground up there that hasn't been flown over 10 times or walked over once or twice." The sheriff believed that Raymond may have fallen on one of his own arrows or been buried by a rock slide. Well,
Hey, Lawless, give me a ho ho ho.
He's probably not there.
He's actually over there doing his own thing. He's just pretending to care.
noting they had noticed
Clout chaser.
I'm so. I didn't know it was this bad. It's okay. I'm over it.
several fresh slides in the area. Still, about 70 volunteers remained in the mountains afterwards, and one helicopter continued the aerial search. Raymond had two brothers who joined the search and were also adamant about continuing the search on their own. It wouldn't take long before the search for Raymond was restarted after the discovery of footprints on a ridge between Hayden Creek and the Possimiroy Valley on September 13th. A district forest ranger would tell newspapers that the tracks were found in an area that was not previously searched. The ranger also indicated that tracking dogs were to be flown in as the search resumed. The renewed search efforts proved futile as nothing was found that led to Raymond's location. By September 17th, about a week and a half into the search, only
Hello,
two
John
deputies
Rudy.
and two dogs
How you
remained in
doing?
the search area. In October, Raymond's family would place a
would you
notice in the
just call him?
newspapers thanking everyone who volunteered or assisted in the search. Afterwards, search attempts seemed to have petered out, and the disappearance of Raymond Jones seemed like it would remain unsolved forever. Years after Raymond's disappearance,
Damon
his
Rooney.
widow, Donna Jones, would have Raymond
Ooh, what's going on?
In a conversation with you while you were gone. We determined
You
were
ho
dead.
ho ho going back and forth. What the hell?
Give us a good ho ho ho.
What? Good citizen said ho ho ho.
He's over there. He
Ho.
can't ho. He can't ho or pimp. He ain't worth a damn. He ain't shit. Right? No, every single narrator on earth suddenly sounds like
sucks.
yeah, me too.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
declared deceased via the Lemhi County courts. 53 years would pass when on September 17, 2021, the Lemhi County Sheriff was informed of a report of found human remains in the East Fork of Hayden Creek. A deputy subsequently made contact with the reporting party, Christopher Williams, via a cell phone call. At the time, Mr. Williams was still in the area where he had found the remains. Mr. Williams stated that he was bow hunting in the area of Hayden Creek when he decided to take a shortcut from one hunting area to another and happened upon a boot that appeared to have a foot bone still contained within it. Mr. Williams then began to look around the area some more and came across a skull and a femur bone as well. He then found a broken fiberglass arrow nearby. Mr. Williams marked the GPS location of the remains and sent pictures of the scene to the deputy. The deputy told him not to touch
You got a
anything
Santa
and
suit?
leave the area.
I don't have a Santa suit.
Why not?
Because I'm a dilf on a MILF. I can't.
On September 18th, members of the Sheriff's Office and Forest Service traveled to the East Fork of Hayden Creek to investigate and document the remains found the day prior.
Hello,
The
Em.
remains were
Welcome in.
located
Good
near
to
the
see you.
base of a sheer cliff around 9,000 feet in elevation. The group examined the area and found human skeletal remains scattered in about a 15-yard circle. In the center of the circle, there was a large flat rock approximately 5 feet long and 4 feet wide. Below the rock,
Just
at
like
the base of a
condoms.
small tree, were pieces of a human skull. The skull itself was very weathered and not intact. Deputies excavated the area a bit and
I mean, I
discovered
don't
one
know,
small
old
tooth
man.
as well.
All right. So the only reason
They
they
made
found
a flash suit for him. You saw him at Halloween, right? Just saying.
It's Freakazoid, you simp.
Oh,
Listen,
whatever.
the only reason they found this guy was because the animals had taken his shoes 60 or 70 yards away from the place where he got crushed.
That's crazy.
Right? Had that raccoon not been so tenacious, they would have never found his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Or if the creek had gotten a little bit higher, it would have been
No
found
good for you,
across
ma'am.
the stream. What color?
What? Huh?
Who? Why?
Because I said so.
Okay.
To the east of the skull were two shriveled leather boots with vibram soles. One of the boots still contained bones. Between the rock that formed the center of the circle and the skull, deputies located the remains of a wallet. The wallet itself was in very poor condition, but contained a plastic card with the name Raymond Jones inscribed on it. A rusted fixed-blade knife, a broken fiberglass arrow, several small scraps of leather material, and several small unidentified bones were found nearby. The deputies then checked underneath the rock that formed the center of the circle, where they found what appeared to be a femur bone. This femur was removed without difficulty, but there was another femur bone underneath the rock that could not be dislodged. The deputies then combined their efforts to move the rock from its resting place. Once removed, the deputy notes in his report that there was a faint scent of decomposition. Under the rock, they found a partial pelvis bone, the other femur, several small bones, a metal elk whistle, a wad of rope, a button, and several pieces of leather-like fabric. Afterwards, the deputies collected all the remains and personal effects they had found and removed them from the area. Later on, a Lemhi County Sheriff's deputy attempted to locate Raymond Jones' next of kin. This led him to Raymond's granddaughter, Dana Jones. Dana informed the deputy that she was currently caring for her grandmother, Donna Jones, Raymond's widow.
Who for her?
I said the drawings or the whatever.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I like them. It's very similar to Bob Gimlin's work. I hear the artist from Bob Gimlin has been moonlighting with a few other channels, and I wonder if this might not be one of them. It's very similar.
Donna was now in her 90s and in assisted living while also suffering from dementia. Dana confirmed for the deputy that her grandfather was Raymond Jones and that he had been missing in the Idaho mountains since 1968. But the deputy was also able to speak with Raymond's widow, Donna. He notes in his report that she seemed to have issues distinguishing the past with the present, likely due to her dementia. The deputy explained to her that her husband, Raymond, had finally been found. Strangely, Donna told the deputy that she knew that he was going to be calling her that day. Donna stated that Raymond had come to her in a dream the night before and informed her that he had been found in a rocky crevice in the East Fork of Hayden Creek. Donna was hoping that the deputy would be bringing him back to her alive, but the deputy notes that she did understand that he was currently deceased. Donna told the deputy that Raymond had been absolutely fearless, and that due to this fearlessness, he would sometimes take unnecessary chances. After reading countless police reports, I can say that this is one of the most unusual and at the same time incredible interviews I have ever seen in a missing persons investigation. Following the interview, the remains of Raymond Jones were transferred to his family.
The link will be dropped for After Dark in a little bit.
The story of Raymond Jones is really quite fascinating, and while I'm aware this case is considered a missing 411 case, when I look at the facts and evidence, I don't necessarily see anything unexplainable or mysterious going on here, with the possible exception of Donna Jones's premonition that her husband would be found. Raymond Jones was someone who, for 53 years, was considered an individual who vanished without a trace. He disappeared one day. A thorough search turned up absolutely nothing. He just vanished. And then one day he is found. If you've been paying close attention, then you might have developed some theories of your own as to what may have happened to Raymond. The hunter who discovered Raymond's remains noticed layers of slab rock in the cliff above and believed that Raymond may have been trying to scale the cliff when a piece of rock broke off and crushed him. The rock on top of Raymond appeared to match the rock that made up the cliff face. The sheriff didn't seem to advance many theories other than to say he most likely fell. I think they're all probably on the right track. The evidence would seem to be pretty clear that Raymond was crushed by a rather large piece of rock. What is up for debate is how that rock fell on Raymond. When it fell, it likely killed him rather quickly. When the search occurred, I doubt he was still alive or able to call out to anyone. In fact, most of his body was probably hidden under the rock. Because of this, I think it's maybe not so surprising after all that the searchers were unable to find him. You would probably have to walk very close to his location to even see him. Either way, I look at Raymond's case as yet another example of the many dangers of the outdoors. When theorizing about what could have happened to Raymond, I doubt many people even considered that he was crushed by a large rock. Again, sometimes the explanation for a case can be relatively simple, but until it's right in front of your face, you can't really see it. For all three of the individuals we discussed here, had they not been found, we would have said that they vanished without a trace. The searchers and the canines turned up nothing. No clothing or equipment was found.
Okay, that's not entirely true. In the case of searching for Raymond, the canines ran up to a location and then stopped. They found him. It's just that there was enough rock there to cover up what they had found. The people didn't see evidence of the guy because he was under the rock.
Gotcha.
So when they walked by and they saw a rock on the ground, it didn't cross their mind there might be somebody under
But he
it.
was underneath it, right?
But that was as far as the dogs went. They went right to him. But interpreting dogs can be difficult.
But
indicating their travel.
Doesn't Raymond? I missed part of it because I was with little baby Justice. But does he have a history of outdoor stuff and all that kind of stuff? Like, is that something he would have done anytime? You know, was that a hobby of his? Rock climbing, whatever.
We don't get a good guesstimation. We don't get a good look at the environment specific. So saying that it was a good idea or a bad idea to attempt to climb this particular place, evidently it was a bad idea.
No, what I'm saying was that something that Raymond has done in the past, gone rock
Outdoorsy
climbing.
and fearless.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yes or no?
yes.
I missed it. Okay.
Yes.
So why wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, dogs aren't infallible. Quite often when you break them out, they run over and they get the scent and they run off a couple of 100 yards and stop next to a tree. And there's no explanation for it. Sometimes they'll take you straight to the source, but it's not 100%. You can never tell whether you've actually found the source and just can't identify it.
But like in chat, you know, Jamie says, isn't that what the handler is supposed to do? Is interpret what the dog is saying?
They are, but if what the dog is saying seems impossible, or like I said, you misinterpret it. So when they ran up to this spot and stopped, they looked up and sent people up on top of the place to go look for him, and they didn't find him up there. It was right under the edge of the cliff.
But they didn't go up there. They went right there to the ground. You see what I'm saying?
The dogs would have gone to the bottom of the cliff that they couldn't climb. It would be hard to interpret the difference between the body is here and the body's up there somewhere. If there's
I would think that if there was scent of the body up on the cliff that even though they can't climb, that they would have gone to where the
Maybe.
cliff was, and you know what I
I
mean?
think
Like,
he was climbing the cliff, so he was at the bottom of the cliff. He was right there. I think that was what we're saying is the same thing. Is they went to a spot at the bottom of the cliff, and no one thought to look under the giant freaking rock.
gotcha.
Rocks don't move, right?
Well, yes, they do. They fall.
Apparently they do. Apparently that's exactly how that works.
Part of this video.
Did you know that
I don't either, T-Birds. I mean, there's been so many stories of people doing that stuff and dying or being lost for periods of time.
I'm not
because
adverse
something
to doing
happened.
so alone, but I will not do it unarmed.
But if you're alone, I don't know.
I think that was yours.
It
Well,
is
you
whoever
don't
my
you
lover
think?
is.
Do what?
Nothing.
What
Mo,
paper?
mo, moti, motai. How do you say it?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai? I won't judge you. Don't judge me.
All right. So Amsterdam built themselves a utopia back about 20 years ago, and apparently they failed. It turned into a ghetto. Now I didn't know. Sorry. Is it now an ASMR channel? I'm gonna do it. I don't think they like that. I don't like that.
Oh, see, they're talking to you. They love your beard, cutie. Not talking to me. I mean, I can maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
I sometimes give free beard rides, but it takes a token. Or a
A
coupon.
token? Or what? Or a cookie?
A coupon.
Oh, why not a cookie?
Are you making cookies?
I have a cookie.
Ooh.
I mean, if it's for a ride, mustache ride.
I don't know. My mustache is sensitive. All right. So, have you ever heard of the mouse Utopia?
I didn't say it was a bearded cookie. God.
I just remembered a horrible song.
Oh no.
Stop it. Just stop.
Was sponsored by Squarespace. This is the Belmer. It's a neighborhood in Amsterdam. Compared to the city's canals, brick architecture, and 6-story tall buildings, the Belmer looks different. Its concrete buildings are arranged like honeycombs. There's lots of green space and even a raised metro. It looks strange, but a few decades ago, it looked even stranger. This is not just any ordinary city neighborhood. Once upon a time, the Belmer was the city of the future. A city built in a park, a utopia in Amsterdam.
We moeten de geschiedenis niet willen herhalen. We moeten haar schrijven.
One day,
now see,
project history. Another
T-Bird saying cougar attacks happen all the time. Like if a cougar got your ass, there would be. I mean,
there'd be jackets and pocket lint. And you'd have boots with feet in them.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things that, and I don't remember where I read this, but a cougar doesn't kill you immediately. A cougar will attack you and incapacitate you. They'll slash your throat or crush your jaw or
it wants to play with you,
pop your freaking eyeballs so that you can't see. And then they'll lay on top of you and pull your shoes off and then lick your feet and make you bleed. And then they will sit there and drink the blood. This is something that was told to me by an old tracker. Swore on it. And that's why you find hikers without shoes in their feet, without feet on their shoes.
Really?
When they were if they're taken by a cougar, they won't have shoes on.
Don't be Sasquatching me.
That's all right.
Weird.
Think about it. I mean, they're cats.
I don't. Okay. I guess I'm not a cat person, nor do I have. Yeah, I don't know.
But you get the idea.
Rough.
Per day, it became its
Bark
largest
like you want it,
demolished
bitch.
one. In a time where the Netherlands' urban planning is borderline fetishized, the Bijlmer is considered by some its biggest urban planning failure. What is the Bijlmer? The Netherlands is not known for high-rise
I
buildings.
get that part, Swiss Miss.
Tall
I mean,
enough.
totally.
There's not much need for compensation. In the 60s, though, there was an exception.
Yea, high-rise estates dominated the building in this era. These years proved to be the time of peak housing production in the Netherlands and many other European countries.
After the Second World War, there weren't many homes, but there were lots of people who needed them. All across Europe, new high-rise neighborhoods developed. These neighborhoods became experiments in new types of living. Architects and planners believed the time of organic, bottom-up cities was over. It was now the time to build them top-down, artificially.
C.I.A.M is a group of the world's most leading urban planners and architects.
Does anybody else have a problem with following the CIA? You know, I just knocked over a bunch of crap over here. I'm gonna go clean it up.
We have designed the cities of the future. The population is too dense within the historic nuclei of cities. Structures built along transportation routes and around their intersections are detrimental to habitation. The ratio between the size of a population and the land area that it occupies can be entirely changed by the height of buildings. High buildings, set apart from one another, must free the ground.
Members of CM believe that the design of cities should divide living, working, recreation, and transportation.
This is the model we have created for a perfect city. High-rise buildings give room for green space among large populations. Zoning separates housing, work, recreation, and travel. Efficient but separated transportation connects the different zones of the city. Uniform and standardized buildings give equal access to sunlight. Large green spaces give equal access to clean air.
CM was influential, but there were few places in the world that applied their principles precisely. One of the few places that did was Amsterdam.
In 1870 ging de stad buiten de vesting bouwen. In het begin van de 20e eeuw werden er plannen gemaakt voor de toekomst. In 1935 het algemeen uitbreidingsplan. In 1958 aangevuld met een uitbreidingsplan voor Amsterdam-Noord, een plan voor Amstelveen voor 100.000 mensen en een plan voor Amsterdam-Zuidoost, Amsterdam-Bijlmermeer. Een gebied voor 100.000 mensen met industrie en kantoren, voor recreatie en voor verkeer. Stad gebouwd voor de toekomst.
In the 60s, Amsterdam had just finished the construction of 4 new neighborhoods: Slotermeer, Slotervaart, Geuzenveld, and Osdorp. These neighborhoods were supposed to increase the housing supply, but they weren't enough. Amsterdam wanted more. So the city picked a fight with the national government in a different municipality. Amsterdam wanted the Bijlmermeer in its east, but the municipality it belonged to
All right, do you see the analogy between this and the mouse Utopia? Right. You could pronounce those housing neglects, you know, because the idea was that it was going to be like a super city of the future designed from the very beginning to be an excellent place to live.
Thought I
What?
just showed you. I guess not.
Hello.
Okay. I'll listen close.
Oh, good. Hot mic, everybody. Look out.
disagreed. The other municipality wanted to merge with 2 others to make an entirely new Amsterdam, a bay. The fear was that if Amsterdam grew too large, the distance between the representatives and the represented would be too far. This
Amen,
conflict
Swiss
led to the Bijlmer question, a multi-hour-long debate at the national level on whether the Bijlmer should go to Amsterdam. In one reality, Amsterdam lost. The Bijlmer remained in the hands of the original municipality, and the city today would have looked quite different. But in this reality, Amsterdam won.
The Bijlmer is the city of the future. As opposed to those cramped, polluting streets in the center, we've built a city in a park. Residential homes are separated from industry, but you can easily get to your work by using raised roads separated from pedestrian walkways. All a working man needs to do is leave his apartment, walk to the parking garage connected to his high-rise, and get into his car. He can do all of this without getting hit by a single drop of rain. Our traditional European cities are cramped, messy, and polluting. We've designed a place that gives you all the benefits of density without the penalties, all the positives of rural life without the negatives.
After that long fight with the national government, the mayor of Amsterdam and the rest of the city council were almost in complete agreement. The Bijlmer was not just some buildings that would change.
Who would want to live there? I mean, you have the choice between a perfectly acceptable subdivision over in Western Amsterdam or this place. It's Cabrini Green Jr. over here. I mean, tell me that doesn't look like the place out of Candyman. Look at it. I mean, you can just see little Chico and Belmonte over here selling crack just around the corner. There's at least 2 dead bodies in the pass-through over here. Oh, maybe I'm reading it wrong. We'll see.
Change Amsterdam. It would change cities forever.
Ik hoop dat Amsterdam snel tot het inzicht zal komen dat we hier bezig zijn met een poging werkelijk iets groots tot stand te brengen. Wat onze voorouders in de 17e en 18e eeuw bouwden, was groots. Wat wij hier bouwen zal het nageslacht, naar wij hopen, eveneens als groot.
What our forefathers built in the 17th and 18th centuries were grand. What we are building here, we hope future generations will experience and witness as just as grand. And we're talking about a project, the literal ghetto.
Groots kunnen ervaren en beleven. We moeten de geschiedenis niet willen herhalen. We moeten haar schrijven.
The Bijlmer's buildings, road networks, bike paths, bus lines, and parking garages were all strictly set from above. The goal was space, green, and light.
A key difference between Bijlmer apartments and your traditional Amsterdam one is the amount of room. Our apartments can have 3 bedrooms, a living room, storage, and a kitchen. Old city center apartments sometimes don't even have their own bathroom. Our apartments are an upgrade. By using concrete and steel, we've been able to stack up large apartments for middle-class families. We have all the benefits of a dense, wealthy neighborhood, but with the empty space of a rural one.
From the start, the Bijlmer was meant to attract middle-class Dutch families. It was supposed to unlock a new system of living, spacious rooms with semi-public spaces and recreational facilities, all without sacrificing nature.
Woningen met extra leefruimte. Goed wonen door meer ruimte. Dubbel zoveel ruimte als in de 19e eeuwse wijken.
On the grounds, you could find running tracks, mini parks to run and play around in, ideal for a family.
90.000 mensen in de Bijlmermeer hebben 450 hectare recreatiegrond. Met 10.000 bomen, 2 miljoen heesters, 250 hectare gazon, 25 hectare speelplaats en waterpartijen. Grote Bijlmerparken.
Attention, if you or a loved one was diagnosed with not having a personal website, you may be entitled to the best website builder on the planet. Squarespace.com. Hug.
In the 21st century, everyone should have a personal website. It's the best hub for presenting your skills. Literally the best place to show your work in public. I now receive a decent amount of CVs from people looking to help with my videos. They can be impressive, but in all honesty, they never leave as much of an impression as a personal website that directly shows what that person has worked on. With Squarespace's blogging tools, flexible website templates, and email campaigns, it's never been easier to make your own personal website that stands out in the sea of boring CVs.
And check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/hoog to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
The buildings were 11 stories. The ground floor was used as storage space. This was supposed to give each resident in the Bijlmer an equal amount of privacy. Different housing corporations were responsible for different groups of buildings, leading to slight variations in the monotonous, uniform design. The hexagonal arrangement of the buildings was meant to give each building an equal amount of sunlight. Inside were communal areas and interior streets that could be used by the building's residents.
Discover our innovative 3-tiered transportation system. Dedicated roads for cyclists and pedestrians. Separate roads for personal cars, buses, and trucks. An elevated metro line between the apartments connects you to the heart of the city. To further streamline movement in the neighborhood, we've constructed alleys under the buildings so that you can bike and walk beneath them.
All right, so what happens in the alleys under the buildings?
I don't know.
City. See, this was meant to be like middle class, upper middle class housing with a little bit of low rent housing, but extend, just to make everything spicy. But because nobody ever actually signed up for the damn thing, it ended up being dirt cheap housing and turned into the worst ghetto ever constructed. Since the actual ghettos.
There you can find a stray junkie who is illegally occupying one of the apartments. A lot of middle-class people do not want to live in the B. Bijlmer. Our apartments are empty. Our construction has been delayed. Our metro isn't finished yet. So the Bijlmer is separated.
Slow burner. Welcome in, bud.
Slow burner.
And friends.
What?
And alone.
The planners planned incorrectly. The Bijlmer did not attract the amount of people that were expected. Many households were turned off by the large alienating high-rises, so they left for recognizable suburbs instead.
The Bijlmer flats had to compete with semi-detached houses in several rapidly developing.
Or when she does walk down alleys, people don't walk out of them. Like 3 went in, 1 walked out. That is unfortunate, but perfectly legal.
Small towns surrounding Amsterdam, like Purmerend and Almere. Why the fuck would anyone go to Purmerend and Almere?
Maar ook ik kan er niet omheen. De Bijlmermeer functioneert op tal van plaatsen niet. De wijk kan niet meer concurreren op de Amsterdamse woningmarkt. Ze functioneert niet door haar hoge woonlasten en door het ontbreken van tal van voorzieningen die het wonen in de hoogbouw mogelijk moeten maken.
If you get an apartment now that the housing corporations are desperate to rent, it will definitely be worth it in the future. Just make sure you don't spend too much time in the parking garages, under the trees, and in the alleyways beneath the buildings.
The prices in the Bijlmer were too high to justify moving to such a radically new place. People were less enthusiastic than the planners had thought.
In het geval van de Bijlmermeer is dat het moment waarop
It was making me hot. It was warming me up too fast.
I just noticed a slight change. I like how the pink brought out your skin complexion. It looked beautiful, but you still look beautiful in this outfit too. I just like that pink that you're wearing.
Can I do the worst pickup line ever? That is a really nice shirt. It looks magnificent, but you know what? It'd look a lot better crumpled up at the foot of my bed. Dun, dun, dun.
Groeit. Ik wil graag erkennen dat er iets moet gebeuren aan de groei van de leegstand.
Vacancies led to delayed rents and high turnover rates. The neighborhood spiraled.
En door de groeiende huurachterstanden financiële problemen ontstaan voor corporaties en overheid.
Servicekosten maken een te groot deel uit van de totale woonlasten.
The public amenities that were promised became too expensive without money flowing in from paying residents.
Nou, ik betaal geen parkeergeld, omdat de voorzieningen die zijn niet zoals beloofd is voordat wij in de Bijlmermeer gingen wonen.
The parking garages, which were supposed to be such an innovative addition, became instead areas of concern.
Eenmaal toe hier gaat dat mijn auto dus in de parkeergarage opengebroken is en artikelen uitgestolen zijn. Dus wij gaan het hiervoor te betalen.
The alleys beneath the buildings and the interior streets became increasingly difficult to maintain.
De binnenstraat een puinhoop is.
Oh, that scared me.
Ruimte niet kunnen gebruiken.
So you're walking through one of these parking garages at night. You know you have a car over here somewhere because you parked it there 2 months ago, but you haven't had the balls to come back and get it since you left it there. And you saw those guys over there, around the burn barrel, sitting around smoking crack. You decided, fuck it, you'll just walk to work from now on because we don't need that car anymore. But now you need the car. So you get over there and you find 3 guys passed out in the space next to your car. They're just sitting there. There's 3,000 empty spaces in this fucking parking lot, but they're sleeping in the space next to your car. Like, what is going on here? We got a plot? Is it a plan? Are they just trying to cuddle up next to my bug? I really don't understand what's going on, but we're going to shoot them first, climb in the car, and run away. Wait, no, it's Amsterdam. You can't do that. That's not even an option. You're getting mugged, and they're taking your keys, and then they're going to have a soup kitchen in your car. Children, do we know what a soup kitchen is?
No.
Chat? Anyone in chat? So a soup kitchen is when a bunch of homeless guys. You're muted.
No, I know what a soup kitchen is.
Did he? You explained it. It'd be sexy.
No, you explained it much better.
I'll even give you the big screen.
I don't want the big screen.
You like it big, don't lie. So assume
It's not the size of the ocean.
Yeah, but I don't want to run across that.
I know you slipped that in there. That's what she said.
Trying to get across that bitch in a kayak out there with a trolling motor. I'll pass, dude. Give me an ocean liner.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what people with little penises have been telling you your whole life.
Oh.
I need some rum.
Ze wel voor betalen, omdat de lift het weer niet doet.
A place that was intended to attract middle-class families just didn't. It attracted poverty instead. The Belmer's design and negative stigma created a self-fulfilling cycle. The nature, alleys, and parking garages helped criminals get away with crime and made people feel unsafe. Poverty reduced its attractiveness, separating the neighborhood even more. In 1975, Suriname, a former Dutch colony, became independent. People fled to the Netherlands to escape the power vacuum that was developing in their country. But when they came to the Netherlands, they were welcomed with a cold hand.
Maar één ding. U kunt niet wonen in Amsterdam. U kunt niet wonen in Den Haag. Niet wonen in Rotterdam. En niet wonen in Utrecht. Die plaatsen zitten mutvol.
No better place to put this new group of people than where the existing residents didn't want to go anyway. The Belmer became known for its poor and stigmatized migrant population.
Uitzonderlijk hoog scoort de Belmer negatief dan op het punt van onveiligheid. Het gebrek aan winkelvoorzieningen werd genoemd. En er werd ook genoemd, een beetje eufemistisch misschien, er wonen een ander soort mensen dan ik en daarom wil ik er niet wonen.
In Gliphoeve, one of the buildings, about 90% of its tenants had a Surinamese background. Migrant families tended to be larger, which led to overcrowding and also increased pressure on the public facilities that were already weakened. The Belmer ghettoized. It turned into an isolated, stigmatized, underprivileged urban area. In the 70s, the city pursued distribution policies, spreading out new incoming Surinamese migrants to other parts of the city.
What a pretentious video essay way of saying that entire groups of people were banned. You're not seeing the bigger picture. It's not our fault that other competitive housing developed, or even that multiple housing corporations fragmented and delayed construction. In Amsterdam's center, there's always eyes on the street. In the Bijlmer, we just didn't have enough eyes.
When there's lots of people, there's social control. It becomes harder to litter when you feel like there's other people holding you accountable. However, the Belmer's advertised spaciousness and privacy became its biggest enemy.
Ik vind het juist goed als de boel controleerbaar blijft. En niet zulke hoogbouw waarvoor ze de Belmer ingeschat hebben. Je ziet dat het helemaal niet te controleren is.
Not enough people meant not enough eyes on the street. Not enough eyes on the street meant that the Belmer had more crime. Hyper-focus on the crime, and then people don't want to go outside. Not enough people go outside, and then suddenly you have more crime.
Dan moet je dus in het winkelcentrum uitbreiden en de markt in de midden. En dan zijn wij klaar in de Belmer. Dan gaan de mensen naar buiten en dan komen ze.
Als je dat gaat bewinkelen, dan is het meer verlicht. En het geeft gewoon toch meer het idee van veiligheid. Want ik zie meer...
High turnover rates showed that the Belmer wasn't working.
Tough for life alone.
To live in, but a place to work your way out of.
De mensen die in de Bijlmer niet...
I've always wondered how it would be to have sex with a German chick. I just feel like she'd be fussing at me the whole time. At least I'd feel that way anyway. That's what it'd sound like. You're sitting there with a tissue going, bless you. Oh, man.
What?
I don't know, y'all. It seems pretty suspect. We have to screw up before we can move on.
Meer wonen zullen zelf hun stad tot leven moeten brengen. Nu en in de toekomst.
The Amsterdam city government had been slow and waffled around ways to tackle the negative stigma for years. In the 90s, they were forced to. In 1992, a 747 El Al cargo plane crashed into the Belmer. To this day, it is the largest flight disaster on Dutch soil. For the residents, the crash left more questions than answers and left them feeling more neglected than accepted. It fueled motivation to demolish some of the high-rises. Almost 2/3 of the original buildings were destroyed. In their place, the neighborhood was densified with low-rises.
De Bijlmer moet niet vernieuwd worden. Ik ben speciaal hier gekomen om een beetje te lopen langs die mooie flats en het mooie natuur. Maar u bent bang dat dat verloren gaat met de nieuwe plannen? Tuurlijk. Als ze die gebouwen anders maken en er komt weer bomen weghalen, dan is het geen Bijlmer meer. Dan is het een meer Bijlmer of weet ik veel wat het is. Maar het is geen Bijlmer meer. Het is geen mooie natuur meer.
The original plan that made the Belmer
Right,
special,
you tell him, girl. That's right.
always underneath the buildings, were removed or made larger. The ground floors, which were meant to be storage spaces, were converted into workspaces and new dwellings. The front of the ground floors were converted into private gardens, turning public collective responsibility into isolated plots of private ownership. Today, the Belmer is still used as a poster child for the dangers of Utopian master planning. Thank you, Glow, for the intro and outro song, for Vies with help with the research, Lars for the footage, as well as the Belmer Museum, and Andreas and Samil for help with.
Okay, he just went to a totally different language. We're going to skip the rest of that because screw that shit. I'm going home. No, that's not right. One of these. We're going to do this. This is what we're doing. Okay, so at this point, we are going to do the very advanced process of inviting others to join. I have something in specific y'all would like to cover before we go to that.
No.
Nothing at all. No Christmas wishes. You want to hop up Sasquatch's lap and tell me that you want a little red fire truck. What goes? Woo!
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. Oh no. No.
Right. All right, let's light this candle. Still think I should have gotten me some rum.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we're beyond that now. Not much I can do
Are
about
we?
it. Yeah. It's totally a type of thing. Okay, so can you trust Santa Claus? 60% say no. Definitely on the fucking list, right? No, I apparently I hit 3,500
Nobody cares.
a while ago, and I did the thing, and
Did what thing?
I update my little hater tag thing down here, like that.
Well, congratulations, sir.
Absolutely, thank you.
Oh, this bitch, I gotta go.
Merry Christmas.
Look, children, y'all step outside, handle it yourself, and when y'all come back in, I'll buy everyone a drink.
Let's do this.
All of us missing all of it, ain't he?
Is tie a yellow ribbon?
You know what I should do?
Tie a yellow ribbon about returning from war or prison. I thought it was war.
I thought it was war.
What?
Why would you do it from prison? Is it prison of war? Prisoner of war? But not just prison.
Not just prison.
Right.
You're making me listen to this.
That's just my opinion.
Don't do that. Ruin everything. So let's see. We got some other stuff over here. I'm gonna play it around. Did I put it in here? I bet it didn't. Nope. It's not over here. That's sad. What if I could find it? Nope. Is it in voice lines? No.
Okay.
Green snow. We got this. We got that. We got other things. No, it's not there. I don't know what I did with it. It's a downside for having like 2 terabytes of space. It's not hard to just kind of stick some stuff out of sight and it go forever and ever away.
God, I wish
No. Yeah.
Can you turn the light off down here?
No, you must sit there in the brightness of your own defilement.
Turn the light off, please. I have to get up. I'm gonna be so mad.
It's uploading the clip. I don't know if y'all followed, what is it? Nerdrotic? Is that the dude's name? Pretty sure that's the dude's name. Him and a couple of his boys got together and did a huge anti-woke video thing. It's like almost 2 hours long. I went and clipped a few pieces together of it because I thought it was funny and it made me giggle because, the Blast Radius, we kind of do sort of like a news show type thing. It's not really news, but it's that type of format.
It's the Captain Sasquatch's news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 episodes. I guess it's new. And so we do this.
A new world order.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Hey, wait a minute! Now keep in mind, Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy loss.
About it. You control population, you destroy the family, and then you you sow division. I mean, this is...
You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill.
We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2.
Are we ready for a new world order?
You'll never defeat the human spirit! You'll never defeat God!
Never!
You'll never win!
Pray that he is watching.
Knew this would happen, this day would come, but we were like trying to kind of stop it. We're like, we don't want everything destroyed before we have to rebuild it,
We are the new media.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you.
And it's all us trolls. It's us. We are who they're sending. It's you. It's me. It's us. We are the new media. It's Lawless over there, even though he's still eating Cheetos and Cheesy Poofs.
You're eating Cheesy Poofs?
I would guess that's what it sounded like.
Or is it a churro?
Churro.
Churro.
Are you eating Cheesy Poofs? Am I the only one here with Cheesy Poof dust on my fingers? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
I don't like Cheesy Poofs because they stick in my teeth.
Right? I prefer mesquite barbecue cheddar chips. Them's the bestest.
Although I don't mind sucking the cheese poof until it's like dissolved.
Well, so this has been one hell of a show, and we're
Oh, I got a laugh out of him on that one.
I've been poking at him for a while. Now everybody wants Cheesy Poofs. Is that my fault? What's going to happen when I break out the Red Bull and Mountain Dew? Get all hopped up on pixie sticks.
Do it. Bring it. Let's go.
Good time. Might have to go get me a 6-pack. I can see this happening.
I mean, whatever you gotta do, homie.
Yeah. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I'm certain it's my fault. I once had a job making $10 an hour where it was all my fault. I didn't do nothing else.
I don't have Cheesy Poofs.
Wish I was a Cheesy Pop cat candy too.
I was never a fan of bottle caps.
Me neither. It's like sexlets. I would never
Yeah, sex or Smarties.
Smarties neither. I didn't like the little candied hearts on Valentine's.
Oh, for Valentine's, the sweethearts.
Never a big fan of those.
Yeah, I know. Every Halloween, I'd always go through the bucket and take out those 6-lits. I'm like, oh no, oh no.
Chocolate.
I love chocolate.
If it's real chocolate, yeah. I mean, you got to get somewhere in the ballpark of chocolate before I'll start respecting it as such.
Now, the root beer gummy thingies were pretty good.
A little too close to sarsaparilla and licorice for me.
Or what about the wax bottles? What were they? You know, where you crack them open and you drink the stuff inside?
Also, keep in mind, I'm allergic to red. So anything with red associated with it, it just was not going in my mouth. That wasn't happening. So purple's out.
No hot tamales, no cinnamon, whatever they're called. Red hot, right? That's what they were called, red hot.
His whole existence is sad.
What?
His whole existence is sad.
Oh.
You ever have
Pop Rocks? I love Pop Rocks. You know, if you take Pop Rocks and you put, never mind.
I think
I love them candy necklaces.
Candy,
Except for when I would bite it and it snapped me in the face.
No. I'm in Georgia. Candy necklaces, candy jewelry in general was a bad idea.
Why?
Because you think you got tater rose. Wait till you stick one of the necklaces around it starts growing fucking mushrooms. It makes beer. Why does he smell like a 12-pack? He's been wearing that necklace for 2 days.
Right, you have like different colors sliding down your neck.
Yeah, just draining down. That's right.
Oh, too funny.
I've got an idea for an outro song. I'm gonna go see if I can dig it up.
I love sugar babies. Sugar babies.
Sugar babies, huh?
I used to love Whoppers when I was a kid, but now I can't stand them bitches.
I love things, but my teeth don't allow me to love them anymore.
My teeth don't allow me to like a lot of stuff. Cotton candy is a babe.
Oh, cotton is so good.
That's where tie-dye shirts come from.
You better bring me back some eggnog. Or I'm gonna be pissed.
Pirate's booty? What the fuck is that?
What's another word for pirate treasure? Well, I think
Booty.
it's booty. Booty. That's
Booty.
what it is.
Bootylicious.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Oh my gosh.
I'm
That is
checking
not
out my
how
beard.
That's not how that works.
Don't make me do it.
Are you doing it?
To what?
Me? I mean, hell, I'm not volunteering for nobody else. What are we talking about? Who'd you call in here? What are we doing? What's the subject?
Just
Come
been eating
on.
all day.
There it is.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
Tag Westside.
Big Mac, Whopper.
Taggity tag Westside.
Big Mac, Whopper, hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
Big Mac or a Whopper?
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper, hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac,
All right. I think I got it figured out now.
I was waiting for him. Yeah.
Is he like saying it into a fan?
Big Mac Whopper.
Big Mac Whopper, yeah.
Understand. Did I miss everything?
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying real hard, I swear.
What are you trying?
I'm trying and man, like let it happen. Let it be organic. Don't be forcing the freaking. We got things we're doing. It's happening over here, and that's the wrong one. Damn. Need the other one. This one. Right? We don't even know.
Good luck. Good luck. Yep. He needs that.
Who don't? Right? So, we can't do it that way. We have to do it this way. And then we do it that way. And then we can do the thing. Who wants to say goodbye first?
Toodles, bitches.
I think I got beat to it by everybody. Lawless, are you going to say anything on this episode?
What? Say what now?
What?
You want to tell everybody who you are, what we do, and why we're here?
Well, I'm just a silent guest tonight.
I got two shits to give about the whole thing, but check it out. I'm fixing to go out with a particular song that's near and dear to my heart that I just heard for like the first time a few minutes ago.
Nice.
So that's how we're rolling out on it. All right.
I've been known to sit on my porch all day long. Porch honky in my swing, and I ain't worried about anything. Porch honky, all I need's a big old glass of cold sweet tea. Porch honky, doing fine, living life one day at a time. 1, 2, 3. One day at a time.
Porch honky, sitting on my porch swing, waiting on that sunset to hear the coyotes sing. But in the meantime, it's the same routine. Sweet tea in my beat up jeans, Charlie Minus on the 6-string.